Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Hey guys, thought I might crash your little watch party.
I have a question that is the mother of all our questions as a fandom. When will you release the Snyder Cut?
There it is.
Yes.
There it is. It's a hard question. I don't know. What do you think, Henry?
I reckon you should show it.
We're doing it. So get ready.
Oh my god!
What's up guys, Remorse here bringing guys a brand new video. And this video is one I've been wanting to make for a very long time. Waiting for the right time to make it. Trying to figure out exactly what I want to say in the video. And I think I finally have what I need to fully explain what I want to talk about in this video. And yeah. So if you don't, well, let me start with a little bit of background. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably somebody that knows me and you're watching this video. Because otherwise, if you click on this video, you probably know at least something about what this is all about. The Snyder Cut. So, growing up, I've always been a fan of action movies. And most action movies these days are superhero movies. And I grew up young, watching the old Batman films and Superman films, and I've always grown up loving those films. I still love them to this day, 17 years later. And with that comes a love for these characters to be shown properly. So the movie came out in 2017 called Justice League, directed by Zack Snyder. And you know, some people have asked me if I made it as when I make it as an actor in the business, you know, you got your Spielbergs, your Camerons, your Nolans, you know, which director would I want to work with the most? And without hesitation, Snyder. Zack Snyder, he's such a visual guy. He knows how to tell the story. He understands every character that's in his movie, as he treats even an extra as if it's the main character in his movie. So in 2017, they were in post-production of the movie they filmed in 2016. A movie that came out that year was called Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Critically, that movie did not do well at all because it had a dark tone. And we don't like dark tones because Batman's not supposed to, you know, kill people, and Superman's supposed to smile every 5 seconds in a movie. It's not how it happens. Okay? It's a new universe. It was supposed to be a darker take on these characters. So I'm not going to ramble in this video about talking about my love for these characters to be portrayed right in a movie. This video, and if you hear me bang on something, I have a little podium here with my phone on it so I can read my topics for the video. I am talking about a turnaround in Hollywood for artistic freedom in directors. So over the past several years, there have been movies that have been tampered with because of directorial changes. There was a movie called Suicide Squad in 2016 where the studio tampered with the director's vision and changed the movie. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was 2018. Was it A Wrinkle in Time? I think that's the year it came out. But anyway, A Wrinkle in Time suffered the same thing, where they actually switched directors in the middle of the movie, in the middle of production, and it changed the tone. And I haven't personally watched the movie, but a lot of people that have watched it, that I've talked to, I've heard them talk about it, they're saying you could definitely tell where the train wreck happened in the switch of directors. And there was a movie came out a couple years ago called Solo. That movie also had two directors, and like this movie, there was an alternate cut by the original director that was very different than the one released in theaters. So, in 2017, I think it was March 2017, Zack Snyder suffered a loss in his family. His adopted daughter, Autumn Snyder, committed suicide. Like many people do in this kind of time, they request to take a leave from the production so they can take time to spend with their family, to mourn, and just heal, because that is such a big wound left in anybody that goes through that. So, because of the critically acclaimed movie before, Batman v Superman, they're like, we gotta turn this around. His Justice League movie is just so dark. We need to make it lighter. So, they used, and as sick as this is, you're probably like, there's no way, this is confirmed to be true. The heads of Warner Brothers at the time decided, his daughter committed suicide. We feel really bad for him, We'll send him a little card that says, we're thinking about your family. And then they pushed him out the door. And said, alright, wipe our hands clean. He's no longer our problem. They brought in another director to change the whole film. The movie, Zack Snyder Cut, was 3.5 hours long. The one that was released in theaters was 2 hours long on the dot. So you're thinking, an hour and a half. No. The director, Joss Whedon, that was brought in to take over for reshoots and the rest of post-production, wrote 80 pages of script for the reshoots. And in the movie business, 1 page in a movie script equals about 1 minute. So out of the 3.5 hours Snyder shot, approximately 40 minutes of that made it into the movie that was released, that was directed by Zack Snyder. So, the movie was released, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when it first came out. That was a very busy day. I remember I saw it the day before it came out at a pre-screening in a local theater. The same day, it brought me some happiness on the day that I had to put my cat down. There's some videos. I did a short film a couple of years ago that's on the channel called The Worst Day of My Life, talking about that whole experience. The same day, I got my braces taken off. And then I went to go see this movie. Which, fun fact, watching this movie while eating popcorn, I had a popcorn kernel. Because I just got the bands taken out of my teeth from the braces, popcorn kernel was stuck up there for approximately a month and a half. I forgot about it until one day it just came out. While, I don't know, I was drinking something like tea or something and it just popped out. Probably didn't want to know that. Fun fact, I won't throw it in there. Why not? So, I enjoyed the movie. Not because it was great. Because it was the first time I got to see these characters on screen. And I felt to myself I was forced to love it. So, forcing myself to love it made me go in overdrive of loving it. So, for the following 3 or 4 months after we watched it, I was in hyper mode. I was watching the bootleg versions of the movie on websites. And then I was like, alright, I'm ready for the digital. When the digital version came out, I bought that. When the Blu-ray came out, I bought that. But then news started coming out about what happened behind the scenes. And I've watched it once since then. And it was when me and my dad watched it just a couple months ago. And we watched it just almost in a satire motive, because with all the stuff that's come out with how wrong they did Snyder on the production, we were like, let's watch it so we can laugh at all the stuff they changed. So, yesterday, the Snyder Cut was announced. Well, actually, if you're watching this, it was 2 days ago. The Snyder Cut was announced on a live stream of Zack Snyder's movie Man of Steel back from 2013. Me and Dad watched it. He actually came home from work early so we could watch it together. And we knew it was going to happen at the end because a lot of reporters had said, you might want to watch the live stream for the very end. So we knew it was coming. So it's coming to HBO Max in 2021. Now, purpose of this video is not to say, yes, we won! We won! But I do want to say before I go on to my main topic, power of the fans. I wasn't too vocal as I wanted to be. I want to be like a very vocal person. Always hashtag and release the Snyder Cut on Twitter and whatnot. But I kind of remained quiet. I think I posted one thing back in February, I think. Back in February. I think that's the only time I posted it. But me and my dad have been following this for past 2.5 years. And we have gotten to the point where we're almost like we can't even watch the movie that's released in theaters just because of how wrong that movie is. Not because of what's on screen, because it's not a horrible movie on screen. Like, if you didn't know anything about what happened, besides Henry Cavill's lip being CGI'd because he was wearing a mustache, because he was also shooting Mission Impossible at the time, I mean, it's decent. It's an enjoyable movie. But we can't watch it anymore. So, power of the fans. So the past 2.5 years, fans have flown banners over Warner Brothers, banners over the conventions they've had around the U.S. They had billboards in Times Square going up and supporting the Snyder Cut. It was just an amazing community, and so many like reports from the big trades and stuff saying people from Warner Brothers saying the Snyder Cut's never going to happen. Yes, but it's not Warner Brothers who makes that decision, because AT&T is the big daddy. They bought Warner Brothers 2 years ago. They make the decisions. Warner Brothers are their yes men. Whatever AT&T wants, AT&T gets. And for the HBO Max, their new streaming service, they want to be competitive. We got Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus. I could go on forever just spitting out all these big streaming services. And obviously, HBO Max's big thing was going to be, all of Game of Thrones, all of Big Bang Theory, all of these movies, and obviously the Friends reunion special. Well, that's been put off because of COVID-19. And on the 2-year anniversary of Justice League, the big Twitter thing where the cast was coming out in support of Zack Snyder. And the day after, Zack got the call saying, would you be willing to come back and finish your version of the movie? So it was announced yesterday we're getting a almost 4-hour either film or limited series on HBO Max with the whole show. And I can't even explain how excited I am and my dad is that we get to watch this next year. And I'll be at college next year, but I told him today, I said, when this comes out, I'll come home on the weekends from Liberty. So we sit here in my room, get that surround system booming, and we watch it. Pop the popcorn, sit down, and just watch it, and just enjoy what should have been. So, I'm 12 minutes into it, and I haven't even got my main topic. It's probably the longest video since I started my comeback on YouTube back in March. The freedom Hollywood is giving directors is changing so much now. And it's in theaters, but it's so much thanks to streaming services. I haven't watched it, but they made a 3-hour movie called The Irishman. That movie shouldn't have been in theaters that long. But thanks to streaming services, you can make a movie that long because people are not forced to sit and watch it non-stop. You can watch as much as you want. Pause it. Go back later and continue watching it. It's amazing how the tides are turning. And we're able to get these cuts of movies that directors intended. Directors are able to make a movie as long as they want. Quentin Tarantino, he made Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They say, this is your movie. Do what you want. And they just hand him the keys and he goes. There's no stopping him. They don't try to stop him. And now Zack Snyder, the new leadership in Warner Brothers, along with AT&T and Warner Media, are like, look, the last leadership did you wrong. Because if you want to know something even more sick, the reshoots happened months. And not like many months, like only a few months, like 3 or 4 months before the movie was coming out, they were doing reshoots. And a movie like that, you need to push it back. It was set in November, they were doing reshoots in July and August, and September. And they pushed it off. But It's like put on the back burner while it was their major thing. The marketing was crazy. Every commercial on TV basically was Justice League. Every billboard. I went on a vacation to LA for a couple days, and everywhere you went, it was Justice League, Justice League, Justice League. We knew why they didn't push it back. Because the leaders were worried with this movie they were going to get fired because of all that happened. So they made the movie come out so they could get their bonuses, as if they're not making enough money anyway, being the CEOs of Warner Brothers, which almost, with most movies that you love and you watch today, are Warner Brothers movies. Big Bang Theory, Warner Brothers property. Friends, Warner Brothers property. The It movies. You know, I could go on and on. Any Christopher Nolan movie. Pretty much. I think they're all Warner Brothers. I'm pretty sure. You know, it's crazy that it's taken 2.5 years for us to get the movie that Zack Snyder intended for us to have. But it's because of the fans and the turning tides in directorial freedom. Directors are no longer, well, in some cases, but directors that have established themselves are not much longer being forced to buckle down to what the studio wants. They get to write the script they want. They get to make the movie they intend to make. And it's a great thing because I'm an actor, I'm a singer, and I'm an aspiring director. I have a script for a short film I hope to shoot one day. You've probably seen it before on my social media called One Last Chance. I have a script that I shot a little skit with last year. I have another script for a skit I want to do pretty soon. I'm constantly writing scripts, and I love it because it gives you this freedom to write what you want, to explore your mind, and think of ideas. And you know, I'm a director myself in how I make my music. You know, as a director, every movie you make, you want to do something better than your last one. Even if you're continuing a story that was in your last movie, you want to make it better. Because in anything you do, you want to improve. And with my music and my YouTube stuff, I'm having to think, how can I improve? What can I do to make myself better? What can I do to make my product better? And thankfully, this having a YouTube channel gives me this creative freedom to do the things I want, to kind of what's the best word? Kind of reach out into other realms of creativity and see how people respond to it. You know, as I grow my channel, and doing my character stuff, the characters I played in BA shows, going out and using those, having this creative freedom, and I'm my own boss. I can do what I want. I can make what I want, because I don't have somebody looking over my shoulder telling me, look, this is what we paid you to do. This is what you're going to do. And now it's not happening as much anymore. Yes, it happens sometimes. It's going to happen sometimes. Some movies have to have a certain way they have to be made. Some studios are literally forced to make a movie one way. But now you're seeing the tides turn to directors are getting to shoot the movies they want, and either put it on theaters or streaming services. But the fact is that it's happening. It's happening. And it's such an amazing thing. I like to call it directorial censorship. That's what we've been under. Directors can't make the movies they want because it's all about the critics. But when you got streaming services, you're safe from the critics, because critics they're film only. You really don't see much TV critics or streaming critics. Yes, there are critics. Yes, there are people that are going to review it. But they're not as influential on how a movie is perceived in the public as film critics are. And it's amazing seeing streaming services given this opportunity that we can see all these great movies and different takes, darker takes, lighter takes on all these different movies. You know, Adam Sandler, his movies were struggling in theaters. Netflix gave him a deal, and he's able to make these movies that he wants at his leisure for Netflix, and they're just amazing. I love every single one. And there's the fan base, and nobody listens to the critics. Nobody listens to the critics anymore for streaming services. And the movies, for some reason, some people are just brainwashed to watch critics and like, oh, if he don't like it, then I'm not going to like it. If he likes it, I'll like it. You need to decide for yourself. You need to go watch it and say, I'm going with the open mind whether I will like or dislike this. Not, oh, he said he doesn't like it, so I'm not going to like it. You know, it's such a toxic mindset when you're trying to enjoy movies in the film world. And I just want to make this video to express how happy I am to get my voice out there. From one, my support of the Snyder Cut. You know, Zack Snyder and his wife Deborah have been through a lot over the past couple of years, and the fact that he's getting closure on this project that he had to leave due to a loss in his family is amazing. I love it for the cast because there's so many moments for the cast, so many cast members that were, this was the movie that was going to jumpstart their career, but because of the reshoots that totally botched their character development in the story, they haven't had as much success as I believe they would have had the original cut of the movie come out. And it's just so much hype around this movie. You know, you've probably seen hashtag release the Snyder Cut, hashtag Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we're seeing it now. People that said it doesn't exist, it's never going to happen, are deleting those tweets. They're deleting those tweets because they don't want to look like they were ever wrong. But they were. Because it's coming in 2021 to HBO Max. So I just want to express my gratitude for the Hollywood community turning around and going in a way that I've always believed, that directors should have full freedom to make the movies they intend to, movies they want to. Because after all, the studio hires them because they believe they're the best person. If you believe they're the best person, why don't you let them make the movie they desire to make? Because obviously their pitch is the one that you went with. So, I could go on and on about this. I could tell you the whole story about the Snyder Cut. But make sure you understand how good of a thing this is, that the tides are turning in Hollywood. Directors are getting the right that they want to make the movies that they want. Studios looking over the shoulder is not becoming a problem as much anymore. And this could be the end of theaters. You know, with the COVID stuff, a lot of people are saying they don't desire to go to theaters. I love the theater experience. I love, as a moviegoer, I love it because I love going to see new movies all the time. But you know, things change. You know, tides change. So, we'll see what the age of next is, but I'm just so happy that the Snyder Cut is being released. Directors are getting the freedom to make the movies they want. And so, release the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed. Make sure you comment down below your thoughts. If you've known about this or you want to know more, make sure to comment down below and I'll try to reach back to you or give you some suggestions. Make sure you hit that bell button so you are notified every time I upload a new video. Because I love to talk about this more, maybe in another video someday in the near future. And I will say this, if you want to know more about the Snyder Cut, I heavily recommend you check out The Film Junkie. He says it like it is. I believe he has the best interpretation of everything that's been going on. Of course, there's other people that have great interpretations and are saying the correct information, but he's just the one I've been listening to for the past almost 3 years now about everything going on behind the scenes of Justice League. And so I think I might leave his link down below so you can check him out if you want to know more. And so stay safe, social distance, take it easy. I'm Will Morris, and I will see y'all later. Peace.